is up? Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Idaho4 revealing all witnesses unredacted. What is good? Happy Saturday. Go all of our favorite sports teams. You normally don't get a live from me on Saturdays, so take it while you can get it. So here we go. Idaho4 case, finally Hippler coming out of his hole. Judge Hippler, that is, and he makes it known that, hey, here we go. This is your order to unseal, redacting, and or maintaining sealed status. And so based off of his, the unsealing of the final trench of the records identified in the order regarding sealed documents, which was the August 4th one. So this is as far as, this is not that new batch. This is numbers 5, 8, 11, 17, and 29 were concerned. So this is from, again, the first batch. And out of that first batch, basically, this is all going to get unsealed, with the exception of people's addresses, which I think that they shouldn't be out there, the people's addresses. So first and foremost, number 5 here was the sheriff's return concerning witness KSF. Okay, there is no further justification under ICAR to warrant to continue sealing this document. However, the court orders that the address be redacted. So there you have it. Now, this is number 8 is the sheriff's return concerning the TAD initials for that witness. Again, same thing. We're going to redact or unredact it, put it out there, unseal it rather, and then just no addresses. Now, number 11. State's amended notice of compliance and motion to seal state's amended witness list. This was music to my ears. This is the stuff I wanted to see. Who is the state or the state planning on calling? Now, biggest takeaways for me, none of the family was on the list except for Ethan's brother and sister. There were no witnesses that were family members. Again, this is for the phase of the guilty phase. Okay, so no family members were on this list. We're going to show you the list here in a minute. So, but it's important to understand how he ruled on it because it would then indicate how future rulings could be. So, this document identifies the names of witnesses, both expert and lay, disclosed by the state in this case. This document identifies the names of those witnesses, and the majority of these witnesses whose names have been publicly identified have reported no threats or harassment as a result. Boom. Huge way to see it. That means we're going to be getting our stuff. Honestly, guys, it's just a matter of time, and I think it's just going to be slow. Of the few publicly identified witnesses who have experienced past threats and harassment, it ceased, basically. They are largely individuals who have a prominent role in the case. Further, there have been no reported episodes of threats or harassment that have placed a witness's life or safety in danger. So guess what, guys? We can go ahead and say that nobody in this case is in witness protection. So anybody out there talking about people being in witness protection, according to Judge Hippler, no. So nobody has been in danger. No one's life has been threatened, anything like that. In other words, there has not been a compelling showing that a person's identity, or if they were identified on this witness list, will likely face threats or harassment of such a degree to outweigh the public's right to access, particularly given the time that has passed and the corresponding reduction in public furor. So basically, Hippler's over here telling the world that, hey, yeah, me stalling and delaying has been helping the trickle, meaning it's been helping the slow drip. People don't care anymore about the case. We're going to go ahead and put this stuff out now because we don't have the craze. Okay. I'm not here for the craze. I'm here for the documents. So awesome. I'm glad that you see it that way. So in other words, there has not been a compelling showing that a person identified on a witness list will likely face threats or harassment of such degree to outweigh the public's right to access, particularly given that the time has passed and the corresponding reduction in public furor. The public now has direct access to the most relevant evidence in the case. What? Oh, I cannot wait to use this. The public now has direct access to the most relevant evidence in this case. Really? That's not true. They want tons of money. Thus, the need to chase down all potential leads is alleviated, meaning these people these people aren't going to go around doing anything with the names of the witnesses. Okay. While some of the listed witnesses may be contacted by the media and potentially harassed or threatened, this remote potential does not justify the continued sealing of the record. So consequently, the record will be unsealed. Boom. And I have that record. We have that record. Next, same decision was made with the sheriff's return concerning witness YR. But there is something so interesting to me about this one. There is no further justification under ICAR 32I3A to warrant the continued sealing of this record, and no address identified within the record that requires redaction. Thus, this record will be unsealed. This is somebody that Ann Taylor was calling as a witness. WR. And WR is Yessi, Yessi, last name Rayo, Rajo. Rejo. Maybe it's like that. Rejo, Lana. But guess where this person lives? 706 Elm Street, Moscow, Idaho. What the fuck does Ann Taylor want with him? We'll get to it. Again, this was you are hereby commanded that laying aside all excuses, you appear in the district court of the 4th Judicial District of the state of Idaho in and for the county of Ada and Boise, scheduled for August 11th, 2025 through the end of trial as a witness in the above entitled matter on the part of the defendant. What is going on? Yeah. We're going to get all into that next. Number 29. Boom. Witness list. Defendant's second amended phase 2 mitigation witness list. Now, this is mitigating. This has nothing to do with who would be called for the phase of guilt. Okay, this would be afterwards. So, again, for the same reasons identified in number 11, redactions are not warranted to the individual's names, with the exception of CE, whose health condition may render her acutely susceptible to adverse effects from even the potential of threats or harassment were for her full name to be publicly disclosed. So they must have mentioned something wild for her. Okay. She must have had a doctor's note. Anyways, we're going to get that list. There was a name that was missing that I think is significant. We're going to talk about it. And then lastly, number 41 is the state's supplemental response to defendant's request for discovery. Item 41 must remain sealed because it has to do with that. It's unrelated criminal history of witnesses who did not testify in this case, which likely would have been inadmissible even if the witness had testified. So we have witnesses that were scheduled to testify that had criminal records. Okay? Okay. So let's talk about first this state witness list. We're going to go there. Ooh. Give me that list. I'm going to pull it up here for you. Here we go. States. Yes. Yes. Okay, here we go. Enter in your witness list. This is the state's witness list. Not that one, this one. I might have to use Hector. Why isn't this working? Oh, wait, here. Denying defense motion. No. Nope. Well. Yeah, that's really weird. Like all that. Where are you going to use Hector? Okay. Can you guys see now? How do you like me now? There we go. We'll make it bigger. Okay, look at that. Nice and big. Dig it. All right. Here we go. So, let me get my pencil out. They're in alphabetical order, and it's mixed in with law enforcement, lay witnesses, experts. Okay. So along the first column here, you have Emily Allant, Karen Allant. So interesting. Karen is on there. Now, if you guys remember, Karen was interviewed because they wanted to get a timeline of when somebody was back behind the house and when, like, Kaylee and them were talking about seeing a person back there, and Murphy ran off and shit like that. Ooh. So Karen gonna be laying down what Emily told her. Oh, Scott, thank you. I always love giving props to Scott here. I will take a minute out of my day to say this. Hello, Scotty. Scotty Too Hottie, you know we love you. Hi, Lana. Wanted to say publicly in your chat, regardless of all the BS online, I respect and appreciate all your research. Follow your show, and your work on MA Judicial Rule 27 was amazing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I wish I knew about all the BS. All I know is that two people were sought after, Turtle Boy and Karen, and by the same bad actors, and that's my focus. So, and I hope the trolling of those people stop. It's very, very it's distraction. Back at it. So Emily, we knew Emily was gonna be testifying, right? But Karen, that tells me that they were going to be talking about the fact. Remember what we've been talking about over here? That tells me about the whole dog situation. Remember I said it's really, really important about the whole dog missing. That's a factor here to me. And I think that the state was going to be ready for Karen. She could potentially even be a rebuttal. So, and what I mean by that as like a lay rebuttal is because depending on how the defense was going to go about this, I'm telling you, I would be talking about how Murphy was missing, and that started way earlier, and that was part of the plan. Okay. So with that being said, if Karen had information of when Emily told her about when Murphy had run off into the woods back there, that, the area behind the house, if that actually corresponded with a date and timestamp that Brian Culver was on one of those 23 trips over there. I'm just saying. All right, next up. I'm looking into a couple of those names, like the AA, the Allison Ackerman, the Derek. Looking into them. Want to move down to Beverly Baffus. Bafus. Who the fuck is that? Right? Who is Beverly Baffus? Okay, Beverly Baffus. What a name, first of all. I was like baffled. Beverly Baffus. I'm going to show you what I mean. We're in this column over here. Now, I'm probably gonna, like, everybody's probably gonna go crazy here. Eric Bailey. Like, oh my God, it's got to be related to Emma Bailey. But Beverly Baffus, what a name. Sandra. Cole Berenberg. Come on down. Cole was going to be on the prosecution witness list. If they needed to bring him up, remember, he was somebody that they looked into because the way that he was behaving. Okay, the way that he was behaving at the corner club. So, Baffus. They put him on the state's witness list, but Cole was he knew Maddie through classes. Anyways, Heather and Jared, right there. We know who they are, the Barnharts. Mason. Now, that name is really familiar to me, and I believe this Mason name, if I'm not mistaken, Barstow. I want to know if that is who Xana had a relationship with. Xana, tell more. I don't know. I know there's a Mason. So Lyndon Beck's on there. Lyndon Beck was gonna have to explain why he said the call was at 10 that morning. He was under the impression that it was at 10. The call meeting to the house, to where Hunter and them were at. Dustin Blaker. Kenny Boner. It's not Bonafide. Bunafin. Who the fuck is that? Well, like I said, we could sit here all day and Google people like I've been. Some people, they'll be in the next batch of what I want to talk about. I thought it was Calvin Coolidge, but it was not. Paige Carter. PC. That's the girl next door. I'm almost positive. Could be wrong, though. Hunter Chapin, Maisie Chapin. Again, the only people that are family on this list is you're going to see Connor Chestnut, Nate Clemens, Henry Clark, Gary Cooper, Shane Cox. That's going to be the guy from Amazon. Sean Crompton. Okay, Catherine Dace White. She got married, so that's why it's Dace now, not White. Dawn Daniels, Shake the Bell. Andrew Davis, Gary Dawson, Elizabeth D'Angelo, Justin Dean, police officer, Jack Decor. I mean, they literally thought that Jack Decor was a killer for the first month. Chelsea Desher, James Deskins, Michael Douglas. I can't believe they're calling him Mike and not Michael. I mean, maybe they don't want us to get confused with Michael Douglas, the actor, but Mike Douglas, FBI out of Coeur d'Alene. Darren Duke, we know what he was going to testify to, pulling him over. Peter Algoriga, and he is one of Ethan's really good friends. He just got married. John with no H, you can't trust him. You do not trust Johns with no H's, okay? Hell to the no. Just kidding, John. John Fletcher. Candy with a K, not a C, Floria, who, oh, there he is, Kane. Why would he need to be on the witness list? No, because we got to establish that chain of custody, don't we? Telling to me. Bethany, I don't give a funk. Jason Gage, Eddie Garcia, Darren Gilbertson, Shannon Galinsky, yeah. Nicholas Grabiel, Eric, there he is. Eric. I dropped him off, never saw him again. Dylan texted me, text her back. She never wrote me back. Shane Gunderson, oh boy. Shane was about to get tore up. Wow. What's the name here? P guy? I don't know. Maybe they work at the, what's it called? Where Xana and Maddie worked. Charlotte Hadlock, Nicole Hadmine, Cody Herman, police officer with ISP. Mazarin Higgins. Oh my God, it's Higgins' girlfriend. Sister. Rob Hill, FBI. Carrie Hogan, ISP Lab. Ryan Hoxie, ISP. Diana Hoffman. Fuck knows. Alexandria Imbroilia. No, I'm kidding. Anthony Immel, FBI. Hunter Johnson. Quinn Kelly on the list. Holy shit. That's right. I said, oh my goodness. Let's talk about it. Quinn Kelly on the list. Why would Quinn Kelly need to be on the list? What could Quinn Kelly possibly be testifying to? Woo! If that wasn't a bombshell, ready for this one? Why in the world is Amanda Kohlberger on the state's witness list? I'm going to tell you all the reasons why I think coming up in a What Does Lana Think episode. Amanda Kohlberger. Remember when this defense told us that the state hasn't even talked to any of Brian's family members? Remember? Couldn't believe that, like, why anybody on the family, the family supports him, blah, 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 right? The state calling somebody to the stand that they have not talked to is absolutely, you normally don't ever do that. So I think it's interesting. I think it was a, what do you call it? Well, I'll tell you what I think later on, because I have to go into a whole big spiel about that. But Jason Knight. Michael Lang. He's involved with the Popo. Roger Lanier is needed. Wow. What does Roger Lanier have to do with it? Well, he came on scene and he was doing some neighborhood canvassing. Roger Lanier went into that crime scene as well. But what's he going to testify to on the behalf of the state? What is he going to talk about? Tracking down 22,000 Elantras? I don't know. Josie's on a vacation far away. There she is. Coming. Josie made the list. She was going to make the list. I want to know all about Josie realizing that she doesn't have her cell phone and that she has to go outside to go get her cell phone that was in her vehicle. Why was your phone ever even in your vehicle? Vehicle? Lana, are you saying the word vehicle? Sure am. It's part of my awesome vocabulary now. Vehicle. I have never heard the name Josetta. Josetta? Come on. Yes, and then you call your kid Jet if you're cool. One of my friends named their kid that, and they call her Jet. It's Jett. It's pimp. She's a badass. John Lawrence, there he is, coming out of retirement for this. John Lawrence, literally making some serious crucial decisions. He's the only person that I have that entered the crime scene, no body cam, no gloves, by himself before anybody talks about the sheath. That's who, if I was the defense, I would be going after. Okay. And then he quickly retired there in December. He retired December 15th. But John Lawrence made the call to Idaho State Police. Hey, we're going to bring you guys in at 12:22. But John Lawrence, detective, he made a lot of calls in the first 20 minutes of this case. And he also went into that crime scene by himself. No gloves, no body-worn camera, no nothing. Justin, I don't know if he says if it's like Leary, but he is a cop. Idaho State Police, I believe. Vincent Lopez. Karen Lowe is with Idaho State Police. She's with the lab. Karen Lowe is. Hell yeah, get up for Catherine Mabutt making the list. Catherine Mabutt had a lot to say early on. Casey Macy with the Idaho State Police. Taylor with the Idaho State Lab. Christopher Maynor, don't know. Tara Martinez with the Idaho State Lab. Jason Maslan, looking into him. William Maynard. Jenna McClure. Jenna was up all motherfucking night posting on social media all the way until like 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. Jenna McClure was who Bethany texted and said, you need to come pick me up. Not us up, pick me up. Jenna McClure's brother was banging Bethany. I think they're like married or engaged now or something. But the McClures are very interesting to me. So Jenna was talking to both Dylan and Bethany that morning. Bethany refused to text, though, anybody. And so she just made a couple calls right before 911. And Jenna McClure was one of those calls. Lakeland McComas, that's a friend. And this is who I have. Okay, so I want to make this very clear. This is who went to the house that night with Dylan. That's the girl. Okay. Love you, Miss Potts. Good to see your fucking ass. That's the girl, guys. There's been a huge misunderstanding about who the girl was that went back to the house to watch Vampire Diaries. This is who I have as that person. So don't believe me, though. Do your own research. I have this Lakeland McComas as the girl that went with Dylan back to the house. LM. Oh, yeah, those are the initials, aren't they? LM. Yeah, they are. So that's who I have. Ronald McDonald. God, that would be so great if it was Ronald McDonald, but it's not. It's Donald. It's his brother. McDonald is, I believe, a cop. Back up here. Carol McKenna. Now, this is going to get really wild. There are McKennas that, if this person lives in CDA, I'm just going to fall. I'm going to do some research, though, on Carol for a second. We'll come back to Carol one day. Anna Marie McMahon. Molly was disclosed. Molly McMichaels with an S, you guys. I thought it was only McMichael. It is with an S. Or did they type it wrong? Is it Molly McMichaels or is it Molly McMichael? Because if it's Molly McMichael, then I need to put my FOIA back in. If it's with an S, I need to resubmit. Okay. Molly McMichaels with an S. That's news to me. I always had her as McMichael. But hey. I'll dip another, Jade Miller as Idaho State Police Lab. Jarrett Miklo Ultra. He's the guy that's drinking all the Miklo Ultras in the house. James Millar. Michael McCaldo. Come again? Riley Moreland. Aaron Morris, cop with Moscow Police Department. Dylan Mortensen, right next to Lawrence Mowry. 2 peas in a pod right there. They, man, with their testimony is just going to be an absolute train wreck. Woo, 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 woo. Brian Mucklin, Mueller, Timothy Mullen, Annette Murphy, Bill Myers, Melanie. She's I want to say she's with either Pullman or WSU. That's a cop. Don't know. Brian Knoll, I want to say he's a cop. Ann Nord, Idaho State Police Lab. Rylene Nolan Lab. Mitch Noonans, obviously we know who he is. Annette, I mean, how many Annettes are there, man? Damn. Ryan O'Neill with the police, Idaho State Police. He actually might be FBI, now that I think about it. Brett Payne sneaks in there. Brett Payne was set to testify, in case you guys didn't know. Bianca Perez, Nick Pierce. Braden Paulo. Maureen Polton. Hugh Powell, big name with the Idaho State Police. Alex with... That might be actually the other one. Rebecca Quinn. Justin, why are they putting his middle name? Reed. You guys know who Justin Reed is. That's a friend of Jack DeCourse. Jeremy Reagan. Oh my God, Jeremy Reagan. Why would Jeremy Reagan be on here? Isn't he the neighbor? Jeremy Reagan is the neighbor that was interviewed. If memory serves, Brett Payne. If memory serves. Jeremy Reagan. What is Jeremy Reagan going to say? That he was offering up his DNA and nobody would take it? I was offering my DNA and nobody take it. Remember, guys, this is the state's witness list. They were just trying to get in front of everything because this would be a defense witness right here. Okay. Jeremy was not the first to be accused by any stretch of the imagination. Jeremy just was accusing himself. Nobody was talking to him. He could be the... Gideon Roberts, he's an officer. Jonathan Rosinski, Moscow Police Department. I am totally interested in his shit because he came at a really crucial time to take over Warner. It was actually Jonathan Rosinski. I think I said it was because Aaron Morris came, but he came later. So the guy that actually came to kick Warner so he can go, I don't know, I got to go use the bathroom or something. I just got to get away. That was Jonathan Rosinski. So and that's when Idaho State Police has just got there. Charlotte, what a name. Love it. Lorelai, you know, she's older, but maybe she's not. Maybe her parents are just hip. Eric Seat testified at one of the hearings. Jeremy Shepard. John told you guys, John Jack Showalter. Use his middle name, though, for Jack Showalter. This is why in one of those interviews, somebody was like, yeah, they just said his name wrong. They had his name wrong. But go check out one of the very first video I did on that man. That boy, whatever. Jack is not his first. That's his middle name. It's John Jack Showalter. I call him JJ. We're like that, though. One day I will interview him, promise. Even if I have to go to Boise. Tim Smallridge. He was in charge of all the evidence, like the evidence coordinator. Tim was going to have a field day. Tim's going to have to explain a lot of things. Corbin Smith, Jeffrey Smith, Jeff Smool, Timothy Snell. what's so funny, Timothy? Timothy and Aaron Snell, I believe they're actually cousins, not brothers. Ryan Snyder, our boy. I'm a fan of Ryan Snyder. I think Ryan Snyder was trying to do everything that he could that morning, and I feel like he was like the only one. His effort was, in my again, my opinion. Canine officer. Uh, Luke Brainson. Oh, he's a cop. Stirk. That's interesting. I thought his name was Brandon. I might have to look into that. Paulette, what a name. Jeffrey Talbot. Jeffrey Talbot's very, very important in this case. Jeffrey Talbot was the one that was in charge of that whole damn crime scene all the time. He was the crime scene investigator lead. And so anytime that crime scene got opened up and went into, Jeffrey Talbot would have had to have been there. So if we can roll back those tapes with the Cowboys going in, you know, I know what Jeffrey Talbot looks like now. I really want to look at the B-roll film on who was going in December into that house. Jeff Tanzola, I think he was going to have to lie to talk about Brian Kohlberger's phone and what he did with it. He's at the FBI. Joseph Terreno, Mark Trivelpiece, he's from Corner Club. He's the owner of Corner Club. Bill Tremblay, I don't really, me and Bill aren't acquainted yet. Justin, he would have had a role here. Justin, I was calling him Tupperware. Justin Tarantine, he was part of the transport with the sheath. You know, not one person can just take it the whole way. Neil Urig, he is lead for the Freemasons, literally runs the Freemasons. Oh, and he does all the digital stuff over there in CDA. Now, take a look who it is. One of my favorite human beings, Mike motherfucking Van Leuven. Mike Van Leuven. There is no Gary Tolson. Gary Tolson, but look, you guys. Mike Van Leuven and me go way back from the ages of the Dr. Moore case. One of the most inept detectives I've ever seen, because his logic is like this. You walk into your house, all the lights are off in the house. You see the stove, and the lights are flashing with a time. Okay. What would you think happened? Well, I would think that your power went out. No, not Mike Van Leuven. Mike Van Leuven would think that somebody came in and cut your wires and would go on some ridiculous, you know, non-logical explanation for it. When the logical explanation would be like, dude, my computer's not even on. I think the power's out. Nope. Somebody came in here and fucking cut the wires and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Thanks, Mike. So Mike Van Leuven, I hit up Ann Taylor and her staff numerous times. And I said, if Mike Van Leuven has anything to do with this case, okay, then his work in other cases, I think, are important, because he's fucked them up, royally fucked them up. And you might want to look at the Dan Moore case. His logic over there. His logic. A meth dealer is calling Brian Drake right after Brian Drake's murdered. But Brian Drake was murdered because of a well-off chiropractor in the area wanted to just shoot through a window and scare him so that he would get out of town. Meanwhile, a meth dealer is calling his phone 2 times on the same cell tower as Brian, and doesn't live in that area. And yeah, awesome. So you're just phenomenal at your job. Mike Van Leuven. Danny Vargas would have had a field day. Again, Danny Vargas was always just coming up with the most amazing pieces of evidence. Chase Ward. Tina Walthall is in the Idaho State Police lab. I mean, you guys see how many lab people are on here? Eric Warner, we know who he is. Christian Westring, they got him last minute. I have his whole CV. He was going to be testifying to basically prove that how the police handled how the lab handled the likely ratios. That's what he was going to be testifying, and he was going to be like a rebuttal expert. So that's, in case people are wondering why that's highlighted. I have no idea. I didn't do it. I'm sure that Ashley Jennings did, though, and I'm sure she has a great reason for it. She just wanted the world to know. Hey, I think because he was still being decided if he could be. There wasn't a ruling yet, so that's why I think that was highlighted. That would be my educated guess. Sophie Whitehead, come on down, baby. Sophie Whitehead. When I saw this, holy shit. Sophie Whitehead lived. This is the only person that was from the previous house that was like one of the roommates of what's her name? Bogan. Sophie Whitehead. I was expecting to see, where's Couch? Ashlyn Couch, not on here. Okay. But Sophie Whitehead, one of the roommates from the year before. Chad Wilford, there he is. He's the other sheath transporter. So Wilford and Tupperware were needed to transport two people, not driving together though, which you would want, driving separately. And what they did is one person drove it so far, and the other person then met that person to get it and then drove it back. Stephanie Wilt, Idaho State Lab. Again, I cannot tell you how many lab people are on here. Jared Whitmer, Sean Wright, Matthew Wasaki. Is that really say Wasaki, man? How awesome is that? What a name. Matthew Wasaki. Shane Yelland, and then Haley, again, the lab. Youngwing. Now, what are the big names that stick out to you that aren't on here? Okay, so when you look at this list and you're like, okay, what are you going to tell me, Lana? Well, I'm going to tell you, we're first going to point out, I think Chase Ward is also a labber, but I would like to point out who's not on here. Who's not on the list? Well, every family member is not on the list. That's what stuck out to me. Well, there you go. That was going to be my next one. Adam is not on the list. Okay, what did Adam, So Adam, right? And then every family member. How about where are the middlemans? The middlemans aren't needed, right? Because we're not going to be talking about IGG. Ready? Chief Fry isn't on here. No need for Chief Fry. He's not on there. What about anybody from WSU? Finding this white Honda Elantra. Where is Curtis? Where is Curtis? Wait, who, Lana? Curtis Whitman. Where's Daniel Tanego? Okay, so go ahead and write these down. So you have Curtis Whitman. This is who was getting praised for them finding the vehicle. Curtis Whitman, Daniel Tanego. Let's go back over here to the B's. Oh, Nick Balance made it, though. Whew, thank God. Okay, so where is... Ready for this one? Now we have to go into Pullman, right? Because who was Pullman working with? Because Blaker was working with Pullman. Where's Alex Skelton from the FBI doing? Where's Joe Lake doing anything to do with victimology? Joe Lake was in charge of victimology. Okay. Where are the people on Walenta? Okay. Where are any of the Moyes? Okay. Wait, that's right. Right. Whoa. Where is Leslie Lehman? Where is Kristen Noah? Those are the people from Idaho State Police that were neighborhoods, that they were collecting videos. Where is Jacob Tisdale? Where is Nate Rosendahl? Where are these people? Where is? I mean, they had a Banfield like right there, you know, to talk about their loops, and nothing was amiss. We were we were canvassing the area. We were on patrol. We were driving through there, you know. Where's Enan Harsh? But let's go back to making a very good list of who is not on here. So I want to hear what you guys are saying in the chat. Let me take a look here. So I asked, who's not on here? People said David Loach isn't on there. Sure, you can put him down. David, you can put down the two Davids. Okay. Let's see who we got. Rick Allen is not on there. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Lana, who would you like to question first? Question first, or like what order would I go in? So write down Jacob Tisdall. Okay. Really important. Where's Joe Vita? Where's Joe Vita? Because he wasn't needed, because he talked to Hoodie Guy, but that's not needed, right? Just established that it was, totally fine. Jacob Tisdall, Nate Rosendahl, right? Where is Justin Olson? Okay. Who worked at the Humane Society? What was her name? Where's the Humane Society worker? Let's go back over here to Pullman. Okay. Where's Gary? Where's any of Brian's? Where's Schneider? Let's go back over here and look at this list. Let me click on it like this. Okay, so go to the S's. Where's Snyder? Oh, there he is. Ryan Snyder. Well, wait, where's the other Snyder? Oh, he's not on here. Wait, where's... You guys know who I'm talking about, right? Where's anybody from WSU? Where are any of those people from WSU? Any of his classmates? Are they on here? That might be some of the names that are... How about where's Brett Kapaka? Oh wait, he's dead. Where is Brian's professor? Right? Where is the people that were at the party and Brian's so weird? Justin Olson worked for the sheriff's department. He was a Lake County Sheriff's Office deputy. Where's Ashley Jennings? I'm just kidding. So where is... Again, this is the states. This is all the states. Okay. Where is Victoria Gooch? Good one right there. Yeah, Victoria Gooch. So, ready? Where's this? Where are Brian's parents? I thought you were going to talk to him about that cross trip. I thought you were going to talk to the dad. Parents not on there. You're not calling Brian Kohlberger's parents to the stand. So then I said to myself, well, if the parents aren't on the list, right, then what the fuck's Brian Kohlberger's problem? So I think it's really telling who's not on this list. So when I look at this, I think to myself, okay, well, if you go back to Pullman, where's all these guys that were doing all these writing down when they were looking for all the white Elantras? Oh yeah, all those guys, right? Yeah. Where's Love? Hmm. He's not on there. Nobody from Pullman is. Who else from there is? What's the guy that sent the? It's really telling. It's really telling. But nobody from Pullman's on here. If you go through this, where's Jenkins? Jenkins, not on here. That's funny. Also, the Pullman chief isn't on here. Remember, Detective Vargas said, "Oh, we got a message from such and such over there at Pullman." Yeah, none of those people are on here. Woo! So you can start telling a lot by who's not on here. Where's Ava Wood? Why isn't she on here? Think about everybody that went on to Dateline, okay? And all these other channels. So Ava Wood, Couch, Ben Gay. Let's see if there's a Benjamin on here. None of these people are on there, huh? It's because it's like everything that Ann Taylor was saying to everybody, like the stuff that they put out on Dateline, it's all inadmissible. The person that ran, oh yeah, maybe that was her actually. Hold on a second. That ran his department. Her name was Stephanie. Something S over here. Yeah, no, see, she's not on there. Moving on. Now let's go to, I want to talk about why in the world, so ready, is Richard Skiles, Sheriff of Latah State, or Sheriff of Latah, state that the above described documents were delivered to me. I have to serve this dude, which is YESENIARAJO. Why would Ann Taylor be subpoenaing a guy by the name of Roja, and that they live on Elm Street over there? So let me show you guys what I found on Homie. Okay. When I typed his name in, I got a hit on the Idaho State Police releases Moscow homicide public records. Okay. The Idaho State Police has created a dedicated webpage to provide access to the records to the murders. So when you click on it, it then takes you to this page that they created. And you then have to click on, it says, by accessing this link, users acknowledge and accept all that stuff. So you click the link to the link to public records, right? And then under it has, you can click. Hold on. Okay. And they've released photos, and then photos batch 2, and then ISP report redacted, and then photos batch 3. Okay. And so what that tells me is that if I was to Google him and his name is popping up and it's sending me to the Idaho State Police, that means that the Idaho State Police interviewed this dude. And so guys, remember how Idaho State Police didn't give us the initials? Moscow Police Department gave us the initials. So Idaho State Police, in one of those, however many reports there are, in one of those reports, they interviewed this dude. Now, Elm Street. Go and look where Elm Street is. Elm Street, Moscow. Oh, I also noticed that I don't think there's a name on there of any like Kaylee's employer. Okay. The street. Oh man, I didn't want to do it like that. If you go to maps and you type it in, I'm trying to. You type in 706. 706 Elm. Freddie. It's like, what? Now, what would this guy have anything to do with shit? You know? Who is this guy? And what does Ann Taylor want with him? Could there be a chance that there is I don't know, did he have a camera? I don't know. I think it's rather significant, though. I think people should do some digging on it. Next up is, yeah. "706 Elm Street, Yesy, Rojo." 706 Elm Street, Moscow. Type that in. Delta Zeta sorority. What? Type in 706 Elm Street, Moscow. And you're gonna find Delta Zeta sorority. Inspection finding. Delta Zeta sorority, public records. And you're gonna find that the business info of that address says it's Delta Zeta sorority at 706 Elm Street, Moscow, Idaho. Total inspections, 3. What kind of business is over there? Hanky Panky says it's Yesy. But they keep spelling his name wrong. And I said, oh, interesting. I said, who lives there? Who lives at that address? I said, who just lives on Elm Street in Moscow, period? How about that? Let's read off some names, shall we? $7.06. Lana, who is that marketing professor? Damn, Lana, where's our boy Harsh and all this? I don't think he doesn't have any information. Not for the state. Let's see what this one says. Oh, go back. Close that shit. All right, these are some names I'm going to read off. You do what you want with them. Lori Glesner, Rebecca Shumway, Tylee Zabel, Martha Mikhalowatsky. Is that Martha? Martha? You guys know who that is? Caitlin Howerton, Kylie Stokes, Madison Mooney, Madison Cook, Casey Beltrain, Campion Homey. Okay, the fuck kind of names are these? Anything? Anybody? Any of those names? I think there's something interesting about it. And if you look, let's see one more time. 706 Elm Street. One more again. Let's do it this way. They spell this name. I'm going to go with the way that Ann Taylor spells it. 706. Hmm. 53 people on that street are Republican and 69 are Democrats. See, I told you guys there's way more Democrats that people aren't giving credit to in Idaho. They are lying about what type of state they are. Just letting you know. It's so much more Democrats over there. But so I was just doing some digging and I just have a question. What kind of fetishes? Like, what's a fetish? When someone says that you have a fetish, what do you mean? Like, what would you say that means? You guys know that I'm not politics, so I just have to get that out there though about Idaho. They hide behind what they. So fetish. So if I said, "Hey, chick bait, last night you were getting your fetish on," what would you think I was saying? What would that mean? Yes, redacted. I know it's because it's a college town. I just have to give Idaho a hard time. They're taking all of your conservatives and changing them. So Rage says it means that you're obsessed with something. Chickbait says it's fantasy. So fetish, yeah, like you have a feet fetish. Okay. So what would it mean? What is it? Like if I said if I said the words you were getting your fetish on. Would that mean that you're doing something that turns you on? Like you're engaging in whatever it is that you're doing. If I say, oh, the homie's getting her fetish on, What would you what would you think that meant? If I said you were getting your fetish on at 3 o'clock in the morning, what would you mean? What did you think I would mean by that? Because I have my opinion, but I need more opinions. I need to test my theory. Exactly. I agree with this. You don't say that. I'm getting my fetish on, right? But hey, what would you say? At 3 a.m., you're getting your fetish on. Someone getting their freak on? Getting jiggy? Peeping Tom. We're having a ditty party. The thing you focus on to turn you. Okay. Psychologically, it's unhealthy, not a person, a thing. Okay, well, just keep that in your back pocket. Some people drink blood as a fetish. Some people lick feet as a fetish. They're getting their fetish on. It's something that's out of the norm but turns you on. Yeah, let's actually ask the dictionary what it means. Slang term. I'm getting my fetish on. I have an anonymous source and I want to see. Kink is the most common slang term used interchangeably with fetish to describe unconventional sexual practices or fantasies. Therefore, a direct substitute for the phrase I'm getting my fetish on could be I'm getting my kink on. Other less direct slang terms and expressions for engaging in a specific sexual interest include exploring a fantasy, getting freaky, playing, gooning. What? So, exploring a fantasy, a more neutral and descriptive phrase for engaging in a specific sexual desire. Getting freaky, a broad, general term for engaging in sexual activities that are out of the ordinary for the participants. So, it's something that the participants aren't normally doing. Playing, a simple, discrete term used within some subcultures to refer to engaging in kink or BDSM activity. So, playing. We're just playing. Gooning. This specific graphic slang term refers to engaging in a long, intense masturbation session, often centered around a particular fetish. You like that? I one step away and this live has gone crazy. It's because it's important. Ready? It's important. Now, here we go. I am determined to figure out what Bethany's fetish was. Because Bethany was getting her fetish on. And Ann Taylor goes, and out of the blue, we learn for the first time that she wants to call someone from 706 Elm Street. I'm just doing I'm doing my due diligence over here. I trust in my peeps over here. Kay Bass gifted 1 membership. Bluebird gifted a membership. I love when people give memberships. The inclusion in this channel is just amazing. Bluebird, Kathleen, Crook, thank you so much. You guys, I'm bringing you nothing but the fucking hits, nothing but the motherfucking hits. I'm gonna be an Outcast Monday night. We're doing Monday Night Raw. So if you want to hear me go raw and Outcast go raw, You don't want to miss this episode on Monday night. It's Monday Night Raw. Late night with Outcast. It's my boy right there. I love his chill mentality. Anyways, going back to what I'm talking about because it's really, really important. Bethany hearing fireworks and seeing fucking flashes and shit like that. Bethany, what were you doing? What were you really doing that night in your room? What were you doing, Bethany? Because I'm going to uncover it. Okay. What were you engaging in, Bethany? What were you doing? I think you were getting your fetish on. Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay. Let's go ahead and reveal. It was a vibrator race. Have you guys ever done vibrator races? What is a vibrator race? I don't know. I've been just doing some deep muff diving over here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. Welcome to the stage. I will go crazy if Bethany and Brian Kober had the same fetishes. Whoa! So this is who this is. Whoever Ann Taylor was calling to the stand. This is her. Ann Taylor, your researchers absolutely suck dick. Who's ever doing your researching? Okay. I said the same thing to Jill Bolton, and I'm going to tell you the same thing. Whoever is doing your criminal researching absolutely sucks big old wank. Okay. You guys aren't getting names right. And I offered you guys my services. Just whatever you do, don't employ me, just employ other people. It's the first time we've seen Bethany showing a little bit of skin. So going back to I am determined to find out. Bethany, what was your fetish? What were you doing that night? The other thing is remember the person that said that they went to visit Bethany and Dylan at the hotel, and it's really weird because she wasn't drinking. She told me that she wasn't drinking, and so it would be really bizarre for her to be saying that she doesn't remember anything or she was so out of it or whatever. Curious if this girl has anything to do with that. Know about that. If that's that girl that went to the hotel to visit them. Trust me, it's not bad. It's not bad on purpose. No joke. Like Dan Moore's people that he had on during his the criminal part, fucking absolutely dog shit. 'These people are absolutely horrible. Um, 'These people are absolutely horrible. 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 So, and I stand by everything that I say. I have proof. Okay, so now let's go Brian Koberger's. We're gonna finish this out, but yeah, start looking into. I'm telling you, Bethany had a fetish. She was getting her fetish on, and then whatever the fuck Dylan and Bethany were doing that morning, I believe it's gonna come out as well. So, remember I told you she was wearing a Tom Brady girl type T-shirt jersey, you know? Yeah. That means that she would have went to sleep what? Oh, I went to bed. Remember, I went to bed. I went to bed. I was downstairs. I went to bed. Mm. What time did you get up to start pre-gaming for the Tom Brady game? Nobody gets up at we all know that she didn't wake up at 11:40 right before they called 911. Football and drinking go hand to hand, okay? When I saw that jersey or that shirt, whatever you guys want to say, they were playing the 6 a.m. game. And in college, it would be a no-brainer to say, if we're staying up, why would we go to sleep at 3 or 4 or 4:30, okay, when we're playing at 6 a.m.? You wouldn't. You would just continue the party. Continuing the party. So I don't know what fetishes were going on, but I also know that I believe that they were drinking and partying for the Tom Brady game. So that's the path that I'm on, because that's where it's leading. Why has it been so important to not have us know anything that was in the bedrooms of either one of the girls? That's not where the scene's at, you know? Yeah, no. And I think once those pictures get revealed, I think we're going to see what I'm talking about, these fetishes. So it means that if you weren't sleeping, I saw a flash bang. I saw this. I saw that. What the fuck were you doing? If you're sleeping, you don't see anything. Okay. If you heard something, that's what woke you up. That means that the bang woke you up, and then you're seeing a flash underneath the door. And it's like, no, maybe you had like strobe lights going on in your room. I don't know. Maybe you were getting, I don't know. We have to uncover. As soon as we find out what her fetish is, I'll have more information. But I promise you it's going to come out. So it's coming. It's coming. But this was the girl that Ann Taylor put on that subpoena. Hold on one second. Now, Brian's attorneys reveal that they will call the following witnesses at trial, although not necessarily in the same order as listed. And here, Amanda Kohlberger is on their list for the mitigating witnesses. So Amanda Kohlberger is listed, but if you go through, because they go in order based off of the first name, bizarre. And so you have to like get all the way to. You see Michael and Mary Ann are next to each other, and Melissa. So it's Melissa, Michael, Mary Ann. They're all next to each other. So every single Kohlberger is listed for his mitigating witnesses. And then you have a Randall Kohlberger, a Scott Kohlberger. So it's interesting that the state was planning on using Amanda, or they just had her on the witness list. They don't have to call them, but if you don't have them disclosed, you can't call them. So, and I'm going to reveal these are a mix of people like Jesse Harris. Okay, Court TV. This piece of paper should now prove it beyond any possible reasonable doubt that all of those people in Pennsylvania were on the side and going to be called by the defense, not the state. It's all right here. So Melissa wasn't going to be called by the state. Kohlberger, they said Amanda. Now, wasn't it Amanda Kohlberger that was there, though? That was at court with the mom? So interesting what they were going to try to get out of Amanda if the state was to call Amanda Kohlberger. Were they going to ask about the card that she sent? I mean, I don't know. Is that who sent that birthday card? With that said, rewind it all back. Get it going. By the way, Amanda wants us all to know that she is not Amanda Kohlberger. Thank you. We're going to be doing a deeper dive into based on the state's witness list. I'm telling you guys, the most telling thing about this witness list is who is not on it. Okay, who is not on it? But now that we have the list, now you have to take the painstaking time that's going to take, okay, to go out and pull out the Moscow Police Department's here. These are our interviews where they gave us those initials and see if we can narrow down some people. Okay. But the people that aren't on the witness list are beyond telling. They want no part of certain aspects, and they weren't going to call them, and they're going to make the defense try to, call them and make them relevant. So yeah. Again, that was the state's witness list. The mitigating list that got revealed is, you guys, it has nothing to do with Cyre. Cyre is on the defense witness list. This is the state's witness list. Now, if you go back here and you pull up the defense's mitigating, there's going to be a lot of experts on here. And so this is what we're going to go over. Here we go. These are all these names. So again, this is the defense's second amended phase 2 mitigation witness list. This is not who they were calling in the guilty phase of the trial. This is who they would have called. This is the penalty phase to say, hey, you basically have to put on another mini trial to say why Brian shouldn't be getting the death penalty. Okay. So that's, yeah. And the other one too, no Dollinger and no, Barrett. And Barrett's a big one for me to not be on there because he was doing shit. So again, this witness list has nothing to do with the trial of if Brian, hey, the state rests. The defense, it's your turn to call witnesses. This has nothing to do with that. This has to do with at the end of the guilt phase, the jury comes back and they either say he's innocent, we either find him not guilty or guilty. If they were to find him guilty, this then goes into the penalty phase. And this is the list, the defendant's second amended phase 2 mitigating witness list. And this is to try to prevent Brian from getting the death penalty with the sentencing. So this is the sentencing phase. And they again, have no idea who's putting these lists together and who they have working in their office for the defense. But they put this in order based on alphabetical, based on the first name of the person. Absolutely 100% delusional to do that. But hey, Alexandria Ferris, Amanda Kohlberger, Angela Alvarez, Ann Parham, she was in Pennsylvania. That's the name of Pennsylvania. Anastasia Hurt Morin. Ariel Meyer, Ashley Detour, Aubrey Scott, Augustine Atta, Brandon Andriola at Pennsylvania. CE, this is the woman that was crying about, oh my God, you have to keep my name out of it. And her name is CE. Okay, she was like, I am going to have a massive heart attack if my name is revealed. Christian Maynard, Craig Hemmons, Dale Wiltis. That's an expert. Why do I know that name? Dane Carroll. Joe Carroll from The Following. Daniel Parfit. David Mackin. Oh my God, David Mackin was going to get called by them. Holy shit. You guys know who David Mackin is, right? Wow. There you go. That's huge. He's over there at WSU. Ann Taylor was going to call him. Ann Taylor was basically going to say, you and all your reports saying that you've never had an issue with him, right? And you didn't think that, blah, blah, blah. Wow. Eileen Novick Cohen. Eileen P. Ryan. Expert previously disclosed. Yep, she was. Ellen Trexler. Estevana Pena. Ethan Ogden. Eugene Miller. Flavio. I'm sorry. Alvarez. Guerrave. Nayrang. I don't know who these people are. Jake Voigt. Oh my God, Jake is part of law enforcement, I swear. I got to look up that last name. I've seen that last name. James E. Aiken. Expert. Sailor. Jeffrey Clutter. Jeffrey D. God, wouldn't it be great if it was Jennifer Mavrons? I would play devil's advocate and I would call all those people that. Oh, John Schneider. Do you guys see this? He's calling all of these people that actually were his teachers. Or I'm sorry, not his teachers, but the professors that all in that program. These are on the defense's witness list. These are mind-blowing names to be seeing. Everybody's out there saying, oh, these WSU people were going to bash this motherfucker. Why would they be on the witness list? To save his life. That's this portion. Damn. Justin Reed. You know who that is? Well, unless there's two Justin Reeds, there's only one Justin Reed I know. He got his ass kicked. He got beat up really, really bad from the football team. And he was a neighbor of, or he was a roommate of Jack Decor. Catherine Ramsland was set to testify for him. She would have loved every second of that if she got called. Loris Tate. Madeline Anzinger. Maggie Sanders. Mark Broowski. Broowski. I don't even know. Marianne Kober. Melissa Kober. Michael Kober Jr. Mary Daunt. Michael Petchuk. Perchuk. Michelle. Oh, this is, oh, wow. Yeah, that's actually the one. She's the one. She's the one that met him online. The teacher, professor over there. She's the one that recommended him. She said that it was his best student. Rachel Lawson, or we saw what she disclosed. She was the one that did his psych evaluations and all that stuff. Randall Kohlberger, Richard Conaboy. Conaboy, I don't know. Now, do you think this is his first or last name? This person right here. What do we think? Scott Kohlberger. William Searfoss Jr. Anna Kane. Anna Kane. Anna Kane. Is that the wife? No, no. No, it's not. Who are these people? Anthony Soma. Well, that's a name out of PA, isn't it? Luis Scarfuri. Fury. I don't know. Mr. Colbert reserves the right to call witnesses to impeach or rebut you. That's rebut, guys. The government's case. Furthermore, Mr. Colbert reserves the right to amend this list as witnesses become known and to call as witnesses individuals who have been disclosed as potential witnesses by the state. So we have to see the state's witness list because there could be people on that and you don't need to duplicate. So there could be people that are on the state's witness list. Again, this is for the penalty phase. This was only for the penalty phase. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something right now. To see these names right here, David Mackin and John Schneider, Ramslin. It's interesting. You'd be expecting, if you're listening to mainstream media, you'd be expecting those people to not be testifying on the behalf of Brian Colbert and the opposite way. And here they're going to be using them in the mitigating. And that's the penalty phase. Lana, you are in a super good mood today. I'm always in a good mood. Some of these names just crack me up. Like my name, like Lana Oriani. Go ahead and if I was on the witness list or as a lay person, I would hear Laura, Lana, Leanna, and I'm like, God, you just add letters in there. Like Laura, where the fuck's a you, bitch? Lauren, what? What are you reading? And then Oriani, I can only imagine, but I always got some teachers finally just like, Leanna, can you just, what's your last name? Just say it. Just say it. So, Bluebird says, I missed your opinions about what Cy Ray is not on that list. Do you think his opinions change? What? Bluebird, what are you talking about? This is the state's witness list, the one that I just went over before this one. He wouldn't be a state witness. He is a witness for the defense team. He is Brian Colbert's witness, or would have been. So what I just read was the state's witness list. You have different witness lists. Like, who do you plan on calling to the stand? That's the state's witness list. That's who the state plans on calling to present their case. Now, who does the defense plan on calling to the stand in their case? So, hopefully that helps. Lana is a lay person, all right. Fuck you, man. I'll go up again. I will go up against any other lay person. Let's lay together. I'm slaying it as a lay. Yeah. So, I think what's most telling about this is who's not on the state's witness list. And that would be Adam, Curtis Whitman, Daniel Tanego, Jacob Tisdall, Nate Rosendahl, Justin Olson, the chick from the Humane Society, every fucking officer from Pullman, like the Loves, and then WSU, Gary Jenkins, who can't get enough of talking to every outlet will have him on. But Gary Jenkins, you ain't even being called, motherfucker. You got nothing, boy. You want to know why? Because you actually blow up. You would have been called by the defense, Gary. Gary Jerry, who gives a shit. Loves spreadsheet. He would have been called by the defense. Victoria Gooch, not on the witness list. So telling. Who else did stuff with Idaho State Police? Oh yeah, Joe Lake. I mean, people that were in charge of the victimology to say how they ruled out that this wasn't people in their inner circle. I mean, you're going all the way out to, you know, getting a sanitized tip. I would be calling Gucci Coochie myself. I'd want to know her expert opinions on after Dylan had left and you guys left, or she left. Did you have discussions with Detective Blaker? Mm-hmm. Did you tell him what you thought about the interview? Mm-hmm. Or I can only imagine like stuff that would have been in her report versus his report. But then you also want to listen to what was said on the audio and visual and in the video and ask maybe if stuff was missing, because that was a big part of this whole identification. Like, you're the one that put it in her head about the balaclava, So it's telling. Who else? I also think it's really telling who the fuck went on Datelines and shit like that, and their names aren't on here. We will soon see what the defense's witness list was, and that should tell you how they were going to attack the case. But no family members were on the witness list. That means when I'm talking about that, like Jasmine, no Jasmine, Kara, Jeff for the Canuto family, Ethan's parents, nope, and then Kaylee's parents, no. Maddie's parents, no. How about this? Maddie's boyfriend wasn't on there. Jake. Only one person that lived in the house previous was on there. The Sophie girl. And then some of these people I still have to look into because I don't even know who the fuck they are. So that's that. So you can expect me to reveal that Bethany had a fetish. She was getting her fetish on that night, that morning. I think the digital evidence is going to reveal that nobody was sleeping in that house except for potentially like Ethan if he was passed out, Yeah. Quinn was on the list. Dylan, none of Dylan's family, her dad wasn't on the list. So it's going to be interesting to see these people, if any of these parents make the list for the defense. Bethany's dad, Dylan's dad, the conversations that had happened that morning. So anything else? I don't understand why Quinn Kelly would be on there. Where's Like, I don't know. Maybe he's going to testify to where he was and what type of vehicle he had and where that vehicle was because it was with him or something. I don't know. I have no idea what Quinn Kelly would bring to the table for the state. Maybe that's who Dylan was talking to that night. I don't know. You'd have to think that. Remember the number that she saved, that Dylan saved in her phone. Okay, so if we go through here, what was the number that Dylan saved in her phone? Um, you have to call people that are relevant. So what does Quinn Kelly? What's the relevancy that he could potentially bring to the table? And the only thing that I could think is that it was whatever that Dylan is going to testify to, that it in some way corroborates Dylan's statements, something like that. So that's my theory on why Quinn Kelly would be called, is due to, you know, we only have a small picture of the people that Dylan would have been calling, and same with Bethany. So I don't know. That's just what it would be to me. You don't call people to the stand that aren't that have no probative value. Like, you can't. They're irrelevant. You would be, and Taylor would be standing up and saying objection, relevancy of this line of questioning. Like, what is the relevancy of any of this? So Quinn Kelly tells me he's going to be relevant because of Dylan's statements, because of something that Dylan due to Dylan. Angel Heart, Boston, yes. What else do we think? Howdy, Lana and chat. Got my membership back. Yes. Gladiator, thank you. Get your membership back. Oh, I was confused. I thought you had read the defense list. Sorry, I was multitasking. You are awesome, Bluebird. You are awesome, Bluebird. You're all good. All of us should be multitasking on this beautiful Saturday. Like the Kendra girl that I thought maybe could potentially be on here, she wasn't on there. The people that lived at that house the year before. Like, here, Jacob Archer. Who the fuck is Jacob Archer? Anybody? Jacob Archer. Oh, you know who's not on here too? Is anybody? Doug Wilson's not on here. I had to put his ass on here just to fuck with his ass. Doug Wilson did not make the state's witness list. Jacob Archer, potentially. Who is he? I have him as a potential vandal business directory. I don't know. Don't know. Who is he? Anybody? Ashlyn didn't make it. Ashlyn Couch is not on here. She did not make it. Connor Chestnut. Like, who the fuck's that? Let's find out. Connor Chestnut. Connor Chestnut is a crew member at Redline Builders. Connor Chestnut, Boise, Idaho. You guys just want me to go down the list and tell you who all these fucking people are? Like, Connor Chestnut. Redline Builders. He played football. Catching up with Connor. He played football for the Vandals. He wore number 12. Is this the kid that was supposed to like? Is he older and he drove down for like the alumni game? Is that what you guys want to hear? Number 12, catching up with Connor. Maybe no, that might not be him. Nope, that's not him. He's a builder. He's not a football player. Connor might work with Quinn and knows Dylan. Who gives a shit? No, I'm kidding. Mason Barstow, I think is an interesting name to me. So I'll look up him. Mason Barlow. No, it's Barstow, Idaho. Very good looking dude. Mason. I mean, so. Equitable Advisors, University of Idaho, Boise. Mason Barstow. He is a insurance broker, accident, health, life, variable life, and variable annuity. New York State Department of Financial Services. What? Vandals. He's a yoga CrossFitter. Oh, Kaylee and Mason. Yeah, I think they were talking. That's right. Mason. He was talking to Kaylee. Oh, what else? He was in one of the sororities. He was the vice president of operations at Delta Chi Delta. That's like Haley Link. He's involved in finances. No, that's what he does. Who is Eric Bailey? You know, I want to put this to rest because everyone's going to be like, is that any relation to Emma Bailey? Eric Bailey. There is an Eric Bailey that is a civil litigation attorney. I don't think that's him though. I think it's oh. There is a drug ring tied to an Eric Bailey. Let's double check. There's a Candace Bailey. So yeah, no. No ties to him. Depends how old the guy is. Who else did I think was interesting on the list? Oh, let's find out who Beverly Barfus is. Come on, with a name like Beverly Barfus, we got to know who Beverly is. Beverly Barfus. Barfus, get over here. Beverly. How's my Buckeyes doing? Beverly Barfus. What a name, Beverly Barfus. Beverly Barfus. Let's see. She's a finance professional in Moscow. Bev Boffis, financial manager at Northwest Management. Wonder if she drives an Elantra. Moscow tax professional. Beverly Boffis. So a tax professional. A Boffis. Oh, I found her. Does she own the Cafe Arista? Arista? I think she might own the Cafe Arista. I wonder if she had to turn over cameras from the cafe. Cameras from Cafe Arista. That might be hers. Beverly Boffis. Did Bill Blatsky make the list? There is no Bill Blatsky. No. Bill's in the dumps. Who else? Yeah. I think I'm right with the Cafe Arista. Bev Boffis. Cafe Arista, 100%. I'll just do my work here with you guys. Who else do we want to know about? With a name like Courage, I want to know who that is. Courage. I don't even know how you say that last name. Courage Elrora. Elorbu. Fuck. Courage. Love the name. Courage. Should be easy to find. PhD candidate, Moscow, Idaho. Who the fuck is this? Courage is a graduate student at the University of Idaho, where he is a PhD candidate in the Department of Forest, Rangeland, and Fire Sciences. He has received recognition as an outstanding grad student. He's Black. University of Idaho Graphic. University of Idaho. What award is this for? Very bizarre. But I don't know what the fuck he has anything to do with this case. This is interesting. Ohio State 2710. What a nice big asterisk by our guy Courage there. I have no idea what he brings to the table here for the state. But maybe the state's thinking if we have, because you guys, it's all about you have to have some type of strategy. The state may is like, we have to have some Black people as witnesses, because if we get some Black people on our jury, we need not think that we're racist over here and shit. Trust me. But I don't know what Courage would have and know anything about shit. So, who else do I think is interesting? Not Don Daniels. Sean Crompton. He's interesting. Haven't heard that name. Oh. Latah County Prosecutor's Office, William. They put in. He is from Boise, potentially. He's a technician at Sparklight. Hmm. Contractor, coordinator at Sparklight. What the fuck do you do? Boise, Idaho. Hmm. Interesting. Um, Sean. Maybe he was going to be the technician that handled all the technical stuff for the for. I don't even know all the courthouse stuff. I'm just trying to contractor coordinator at Sparklight. What's Sparklight? Let's look up that. Sparklight. Maybe he's going to work the Elmo machine. Sparklight. Exactly. Amen. Don't be the one black friend. Just don't. Just don't do it. It will likely end bad. Yeah. When white people only want one black friend, run. I agree. Say I ain't nobody's token. Let's look up what Sparklight's all about though. Sparklight. What's Sparklight, Idaho? Oh, Sparklight Internet. High speed home internet. Sparklight. Get ultra fast speeds with Sparklight's high speed internet powered. Is this really what this is? Hmm. Well, let's see who Mazarin Higgins is. Who the fuck is this? Mazarin. PhD candidate, Washington State University. Is that who got the job? Oh, she probably was in Brian's class. PhD candidate. WSU. Teaching assistant. Brian, here's the chick taking you down. Mazarin Higgins, MH. Mazarin Higgins was going to be like, listen, this little fucking nasty ass prick bitch. Okay. Always checking me out. Always looking at my fine curves. All right. Nobody's got time for that shit. He's over here squawking. She graduated. PhD. She's graduated. What a Wilson Short Hall is in the back of her photo. Holy shit, Brian. These are the people that you're attacking. There we go. Mazarin Higgins. Do you have any words? Would you like to speak to the class? Yes, I want to thank all of my classmates, especially the cohorts. And I want to give a special shout out to that piece of shit, Brian Kohlberger. We caught you, you fucking bastard. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mazarin. We appreciate you. Congratulations on your PhD. Ooh. Mazarin. Was someone trying to break into your apartment? So, Mazarin Higgins identified WSU PhD candidate. Now she has a PhD, but she was a TA and in Brian's, like literally, Wilson Short Hall. Her picture's taken. Wendy, you love it. Isn't it great? You got to have an entertaining show. Who wants to fucking sit here and talk about names? Like who's on this witness list? Henry Clark. Who the hell are you? You know, Eddie Garcia. I want to know who Eddie Garcia is. Sounds like a total like cop name from like New York Undercover in 2000 in like 1996. You know, Eddie Garcia. Eddie Garcia. What I mean, good luck finding that, right? No idea who he is. Who is Candy with a K? Candy Floria. Candy Floria. Well, Candia Floria was in 2022 was employed at the Idaho State Police and had a reported pay of 41,000 according to public records. So there you go. Candy Floria getting the big old subpoena. Who subpoenaed her? Was that the defense? Now that's interesting. Here we go. Who wanted Candy? I wouldn't think that you would need to have a subpoena for Candy Sue. Attorney letter subpoena. She was served July 1st, 2025 at 4:05. Ada County Sheriff's Office served her. And she was ISP in 2022. Interesting. Spelled with a K, guys. She's out of Boise. She's a ISP forensic evidence specialist. Anybody else? We'll do Elizabeth D'Angelo, and then I'll call it a wrap. Elizabeth, what you got? Today's the Italian Fest. So, D'Angelo. Not sure. Emma Bailey is not on the list. She didn't make the list. Oh, here. You know who I'm going to look up? This name. This Peggy. Peggy Gunn. Peggy. I wonder if that's really how her family was like, we're going to spell your name like this. Pegi. Peggy. Pullman. Peggy, we got you in Pullman. 40. Peggy, what did you know? Pie Guy. You guys ever play that game, Pie Guy? Peggy Gunn, 40. Pullman. The state wanted you, Peggy. What are you going to talk about? Well, you work at you're a bartender, Peggy, aren't you? What a sex kitten. Can't make this up. So Peggy could have been potentially waiting on Brian Kober at a regular at a bar over there. So that's interesting. Peggy was going to bring that she worked at the bar in Pullman called, and wow. Yep, the defendant would come in and he would get he was drinking like 7-Ups. We would splash it with grenadine and we would call him like Shirley Temples and he'd get like 5 cherries. He was very weird. Very weird. I never saw him drink and he was always just gawking at the females. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. You guys have the best of the best days. Moderators appreciate you guys. Ashlyn Couch was not on the list. She was not going to be being called by the state. So, Angel Heart says, I'm proud of you, Lana. You are an angel among us, girl. We love you. Oh, love you back. She also gave away 5 Truth and Transparency memberships. So thank you guys. All of you guys that bought other memberships for other people. That's awesome. You guys rock. I'll be back. I'll be back later tonight. You guys, this Scott Peterson case is off the chain. Off the chain. And if you guys are ever hoping that if you believe in Brian Culber's innocence, you might want to check out how Scott Peterson went about this for the past 22 years. It is one of the sickest cover-ups of a mainstream media high-profile case I've ever seen in my life. I just uncovered that one of the witnesses that Scott Peterson has in all of his paperwork, he is dead. He June of 2025, and he's the one, a main person that knew about Lacey Peterson confronting the burglars across the street. I just uncovered this last night. So I've been working a lot on that, but it's really, really crazy. So check out the latest on the Scott Peterson case. I believe that he is factually innocent, and I think that the LA Innocence Project did a phenomenal job. And I'm covering that because it's crazy. So, all right, guys. Until next time. See you on the flip. The cops, what they did in that case, unbelievable.